Coast. He had been the only child in this house for 6 years. What he did on night 2 changed everything anyone thought they knew about him. Coast. The warnings had been consistent and unanimous. Everyone who knew Bo said the same thing. You need to prepare. A 6-year-old golden retriever who has been the absolute center of a household for 6 years does not always adjust gracefully to a newborn. Bo was not exactly spoiled. He was thorough. Coast. Thoroughly present, thoroughly attached, thoroughly certain of his place in the order of things. He slept on the bed. He greeted arrivals at the door with a performance. He had strong, documented opinions about the location of his food bowl. Coast. Myra and James Sutherland had done everything the trainer recommended. Baby scent introduction before the birth. Gradual boundary setting in the nursery. A slow desensitization to the sounds of infant crying. Coast. By the time their daughter Rosa arrived, 3.4 kilograms, a full head of dark hair, and a personality that announced itself at high volume in the delivery room, they felt reasonably prepared. Coast. The first introduction was careful and correct. James held Rosa. Bo sniffed the receiving blanket. He pulled back immediately. Not aggression, something more like assessment. The face of a dog who has encountered new information and is deciding what to do with it. Coast. He went to his bed. He stayed there for 4 hours, which was unusual for Bo, who typically circled the house approximately every 20 minutes out of professional curiosity. Coast. That night he slept in the hallway. Not the bedroom, not the nursery doorway. The hallway itself, equidistant from both rooms, which Mara described to James. The next morning is him not being ready to commit to a position. Coast. Day 2 was harder. Rosa cried at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and 6 a.m. Each time, Bo appeared in the bedroom doorway, looked at them, looked at Rosa, and left. He ate his breakfast without enthusiasm. Coast. He didn't greet James when James came back from a coffee run. He sat in the living room and looked out the window in a way that both of them recognized guiltily as sadness. James called the trainer. The trainer said, "This is normal. Give him time. Don't force interaction. Let him make the first choice." Coast. That night they put Rosa down on the portable bassinet in the living room while they ate dinner. Bo was across the room. He watched Rosa the way he sometimes watched the television, with interest that could not quite be called understanding. Rosa was asleep. He watched her sleep. Coast. At some point during dinner, neither Mara nor Jane saw it happen. Bo moved. The security camera, which they had set up to monitor Rosa at a low angle across the room, caught it. Bo crossed the living room in slow, careful steps. Coast. He lowered himself to the floor beside the bassinet. He exhaled once, that particular exhale that is also a decision, and put his chin on his paws 6 inches from the edge of the basket where Rosa slept. Coast. He didn't look up when they cleared the dinner plates. He didn't move when James walked past him to the kitchen. He lay beside his daughter, which is what she was in every way that mattered to him, for the rest of the evening. Coast. Mara watched the camera footage at midnight while she was feeding Rosa. She watched Bo walk across the room. She watched him lower himself down. She watched that exhale. She held Rosa against her chest and cried in the particular quiet way of someone who doesn't want to wake the dog. Coast. If you stay for stories about the bonds between animals and the people they love, you are in exactly the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Coast. What happens in a dog's olfactory system when a newborn arrives is more complex than it appears. Coast. A newborn carries a chemical signature unlike anything the dog has encountered. A specific combination of amniotic scents, vernix compounds, the biochemistry of an entirely new human, and it takes time for the dog's neural processing to categorize this new person. The pulling back is not rejection, Coast. It is assessment. The slow approach is not reluctance. It is the same process that takes days to complete. The same process by which dogs incorporate new family members into their protection structure. Bo had spent 48 hours running the numbers. On night 2, he finished. Coast. What he did next was not trained. It was not instructed. It was not performed for anyone's benefit. The camera caught it, and it is still on Mara's phone, and she has watched it more times than she could count. Coast. 6 seconds of footage. A large golden retriever walking carefully across a living room at 7:43 p.m., lowering himself to the floor, exhaling once, and putting his chin on his paws next to a sleeping baby. 6 seconds, 6 years leading up to it. A whole life choosing the position he wanted to hold. Coast. Has your dog surprised you with how they responded to your newborn? Doing something you didn't expect at a moment you didn't see coming? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Coast. Rosa is 8 months old now. She reaches for Bo's fur when he walks past the bouncer, and he holds still for her in a way he holds still for nothing else. He sleeps beside her on the floor at the foot of the bassinet, which has now been moved to the bedroom. He was not asked to be there, he decided. Ghost. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If these stories matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Coast. The trainer called to check in last month. James told her what had happened on night 2. There was a pause on the line. That's them choosing, she said. When they choose it, that's the one that lasts.